Right, so a couple of issues. You'll notice the pipe's off. I put got all excited, put the oil in, everything. Kickstart doesn't work. Spring comes back, pull doesn't engage. Got to take the cover off. More worryingly, because it's in second gear. See if you can listen to this. You can hear that. I have no idea what that is. It cannot be the big end. It just can't be, but that's what it sounds like. Yeah, that wasn't a very flattering view of me, was it? So I really don't know what that is. I've undone the head bolts. I'm going to put the head off, make sure it's okay. I have no idea where that sound comes from. When the head's tightened, it makes a tinging noise. And I've listened to videos, and some bikes make a ting, 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 ting noise when they run. It also happens to coincide with top dead center, so I thought it was the piston hitting the head. I'd loosened off the head bolts and I've raised the head up, and it isn't the piston hitting the head, it's something. So I don't really know what to say. I'm going to pull the head off. I'm going to try and get the piston on the way down of its stroke and then press on it and see if there's any play. I don't think there is. I'm also going to try and wiggle it and see if there's any play side to side, lateral. I don't think there's any play there. I've got a feeling it's on the primary side. So I think it could be on the primary chain, which makes me feel much better because I don't have to split the cases. But it's still something that I'm not very pleased about, although I seem to be sort of calm about it. I'm mightily fucked off. Yeah, that's where we are. So after going through everything yesterday or the day before and being really elated, kind of a bit of a downer. Anyway, this is rebuilding old bikes that were in pieces, or mostly in pieces, or mostly together. So I'll pull the head off and we'll see what I find. All right. Well, I think I've got to it, which is great news actually, because I don't have to strip the engine, and to prove that, here we'll go. I'll just push it along without the head on. No horrible sound, which is great, and you get to watch me pull it back again. Grunt and groan. What I have noticed, let's just get it to where it wants to be. There is a slight touch mark. You probably can't see it, just there on the edge of the piston, right? And I've wiped it off now, but there is a touch mark just there on the edge of the valve. So I think the piston is touching my inlet valve. I think that's what it is. So to try that and fix it, although it still made the noise when I had the head up in the air. Did it make funny noises? Yeah, all bikes. I got to think about it. Don't understand why it did that then. Something's very odd. My fix, that goes all the way to the top. Does that stick? I've got to check and see if that clears. Maybe what I do is put some plasticine on it and push it down and do that trick. That's the only way to test it, isn't it, really? I can't measure it. I was going to say I'll put 2 head gaskets on and see if that works. I may do that as well, just to see, because I have a spare copper head gasket. That may be a choice. We shall see. Alrighty, so follow up to the clanky noise, or the ting 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 noise. I've pulled the head off and I tried fitting a second head gasket, which slips on really easily. Well, it did before I nailed it. There we go. And with the second head gasket on, sorry, I'll hold it. With the second head gasket on, the issue goes away. So I'm trying to think about this. Either way, the length of the barrel studs aren't going to change, because the barrel studs go all the way through. Well, apart from these guys which screw in, but I could either put 2 or 3 base gaskets in, or a plate and 2 base gaskets, and pull the barrel off and risk knackering the rings trying to put it all back together again, or I could just put 2 head gaskets on. And because the liner sits proud, it actually goes into a recess in the head, which needs to be cleaned up before I put it back on. But I'm thinking 2 head gaskets is going to be the fix. I know it's not really the right way of doing it. Really, I should take the piston out and machine it down, and you know, and get it as close to the stock factory things that we did. But when I was a kid and you had 2 strokes, and you had big horrible 500cc motocross bikes that were evil, sometimes, you know, with a rebore you get a piston that was too big, and we put multiple solid copper head gaskets on. You put compression plates underneath as well. It doesn't make any difference. The effect is the same. So I'm going to go the 2 head gasket route. I've checked the hole alignment for the oil, so these are good. This is good. I'll clean up the head and put it back together and torque it down, and we'll check it again. And when it torques down, it does actually pull it down a bit. So I'm not too worried about the length of the push rods. You know, it's only what, 0.5 millimeter difference, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean the head up now, slip the head back on, put the really difficult nuts in by finger, and then just sort of even up the tension, leave it for a bit, and then torque it down a little bit later. So that's my cheap ass, I wouldn't really call it a bodge, but it's there's probably more mechanically eloquent ways of fixing it than 2 head gaskets, but it seems to work, and I have 2 head gaskets, so that's what I'm going to do. I don't have a lathe, I can't turn it down. I'm not brave enough to take it apart and machine the piston with my belt sander. That would be just hideous. This is what I'm doing. Alrighty, so you caught me sitting down again. Wearing a BSA shirt for once. So 2 head gaskets are in play. Just kind of make it out. I've sort of pre-torqued it down to 20 foot-pounds all around. I'm going to leave it overnight, then go to 28. I think it's 28. I'll check the book just to make sure. And I have tested it, and there's no ding 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 noise, so I'm quite happy with that. I'll put everything else back on, and we'll hopefully that'll be it. But that's a bit of a crap fix, putting on 2 head gaskets, but it seems to be the easiest solution right now because I'm desperate to hear this bugger run. Hey, well, so you've seen a lot of me and not much of the bike, but let's have a quick look at the bike. So I've done a little bit. I put the studs in, and what I've also done is try to fit the rocker cover gasket, and as you can see, it doesn't really fit. So I don't know what the scoop is there, but I'm going to end up buying a new one. I could look around and see if I've got any cardboard, and then, you know, put the rocker cover on, and then make a gasket. But that's well, I don't know. It's possible. It is possible. I'd sooner just buy one. I know it's lazy, so I'm probably going to end up spending some money with BSA singles. But this thing just didn't fit, and if I try and put it on, it ended up. And it's tight on the bolts, which makes me think something's wrong. But then when you try and get it to line up, it was, so the holes aren't big enough, but it was all sorts of course now it's split. It just doesn't seem right. So I think it's a crap pattern. So I'll end up buying a new one of those, maybe get a couple of 3 of them. So that's in order. I have torqued down the bolts again properly for the head. It is wearing its cunning extra thick head gasket combination there. I haven't tested it for compression. Oil definitely does come out of the end. Look, that's good. So when I push it forward, it's oil has made it to the pump and is being recycled, so that's great. So ultimately, if we keep pushing it around, it will fill into the filter and then will come out the other end as well, which is great, which go back into the tank. We should see it here. I've taken the kickstart off. The kickstart would not engage after sorry, you can't see, there it is, the kickstart, and of course it's off, but the kickstart would not engage. So I've got to pull this cover off, which means I've got to untime this and all that wonderful stuff that I don't really want to take off, but I'm going to have to. So that's that. In good news, the T140 out there did pass its inspection today. So that's good, and the Speedmaster's got a new battery on it, so that's excellent. I also should really fire up my son-in-law's Himalayan that's sitting forlorn here and unloved. So maybe I'll take that for a spin this afternoon. That could be fun, providing it starts, of course. So I should probably put it on the trickle charger now. Yeah, anyway, so got parts to order. Gonna pull this outer case off and see what's wrong with the kickstart. I'm going to change the rubbery thing because the old one actually pointed that way and this one comes straight up, so I'll change that because I've still got it, and that will help not melt the wires on the exhaust. I've got to relieve the hole on the silencer a little bit because it's a bit tight, doesn't come on and off nicely. I don't know whether through welding the thing's sprung back or not, but that's something to do. And what else have I got to do? A million other things, but that's it. So I don't think I'm going to hear it run this weekend, but I'll see how creative I get with gasket making, if I can find suitable material. That rigid box there looks prime, actually. Oh, that could be fun. We could have a gasket making session. Well, watch this space. So here's what we're going to do to make the gasket. Here's the box that I was talking about, and just going to plonk that over it. That clearly covers it all. I'm going to smear oil all around the mating faces, lightly with my finger. I'm going to flip it over, dab it onto the cardboard, pull it back up, and then punch holes for the gasket hole, or for the bolt holes where the holes are, and then carve it out with a knife, and that'll be my gasket. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Like I said, I'm still waiting for my tripod to fix itself, so I don't know how I'm going to hold the camera up, but I'll take video bits in between so you get some idea. So the oil method didn't work, so what I've done is I've drawn around it, and then using a hammer from the other side I've pressed through to mark where the holes are, using the pane of a small ball peen hammer. So now I can punch to those, and then I can, using an X-Acto knife, clean this out, clean around the edges, and that should do it. So you can just see the holes there. So now I'm going to stamp them. We'll try that again because I hit the button in excitement. Rocker cover, gasket. Not exactly, you know, factory spec, but it'll do. It'll do. And I think I may just open up that as well, because there's a little bleed hole there that I think should allow oil to. Maybe it should be blocked. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I guess we're going to find out. Anyway, that's going to go on, I think. So we'll try it. So I'm rather happy with that. That fits pretty well actually for a lash up. I will order some proper gaskets just in case this one doesn't seal. But now it's a case of putting the push rods in, and then I'll lower this on. And when I get it close, I'll take some pictures, or at least do some video, so you can see what kind of a mess I'm making. I should probably put a little bit of grease on this gasket and the face that it's. Well, I don't think so, because I've got the shiny face down, so that's probably going to be all right. It will get squashed in, so that should retain or should stop oil going everywhere. But I'll smear some gasket, some grease around this side, just to help seal on the porous side. Alrighty. So I don't know whether you can see in there, but you can see the push rods. The short one is the exhaust one, which is driven off the cam at the back. It's not actually connected yet, but there's tons of free play here, so I should be able to just snick him. Oh, maybe I do need to put him in. The inlet one has got oodles of space, so I'm just going to try and loosely get those connected, if I can, without disconnecting them from the sockets that are in down here where the cam is, and that piece, and then tighten this down. And then to adjust the clearances, you rotate the offset. Oh god, my bloody screwdriver's picked up all sorts of bits of metal, and I can't even do it because I can't get it in there because it's too small. Anyway, using that slot, you rotate, and that adjusts the clearances. So I need to get those push rods engaged. I'll try and then pull this down, put some nuts and washers on, pull this down, and it looks like well, it's going to be a mess, isn't it? Because I don't know whether you can see this, but I've got the long studs where they should be short, and the short studs not visible where they should be long. So I need to pull these two out and put them in here. So I guess it's coming off again. Alrighty, so I've done it again. I've I've fitted the rockers and the push rods. You can spin them. They're engaged. I've set minor clearance. You can hear a lot of clattering on that one because that's moving backwards and forwards. That may need a shim in the back, and I think this is on full. I've taken up as much slack as I can, so I don't know whether it's the push rod's too short or what the scoop is. Anyway, rocker box is tightened down. I put the head steady on. That sort of almost lines up as well, which is great, especially if you kind of put it that side. So that should be good. I've cleaned up the faces on the inspection covers. They were a bit beaten. I think, you know, people knock the rocker box off with a hammer and it's not great. Next thing to do is put my carburetor on. It's going to sit around here. Hopefully it doesn't clout the oil hoses. And of course we know that's rubbish because this has to come off because my kickstart doesn't engage. It springs back all right, which is terrific, but after kicking it the first time it doesn't engage, so I've got to take this off and figure it out, which unfortunately means getting rid of all this. And I know I've probably said that before, pretty sure I have actually. So am I going to quit for the day? I am going to quit for the day, I think, until I come back after I've run out and got beer. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run out and get beer, so I don't have to do it. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll run out, get beer, come back and pop this cover off, and then we'll see what the scoop is with a kickstart. And then if I can put that back on, that would be excellent. All right. Alrighty, so because I've been out and I did the beer run, I put the oil line on, put the cover on. I've checked the clearances. And that's probably a little bit big, but that is the side-to-side play, so that needs taken care of. I need to pull the rocker box off anyway, because I've got a feeling that push rod's too short, so I probably need to get another push rod. I'm just about to pull the ignition off. I'll take all the screws out, then pull on the clutch lever, and hopefully that'll ping it, and then I can get my finger in here and pull it this way from here as well. There's oil. Oh, that's interesting. Where I've got oil coming from. Oh, I bet that was from before I put the hose on. Yeah, alright, don't panic. So I'll do that. I'll take all these off, pull the clutch lever, and then we'll get this cover off and see what's going on with the kickstart. I can change that wire, shroud, grommet thing, and then I can scrape all that lovely stuff off and do it all over again, which is excellent. I'm really looking forward to that, so that'll be good. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, one more thing. This BSA rebuild is brought to you by my current favourite beer, Erastus, from the Shilling Brewery in Littleton, New Hampshire. Erastus, 9%, and it's worth it. So here's the issue with the kickstart. If I and now I've got come, there we go. Kick it over. The spring runs it back, but the spring that's on this, it's really tight, and it doesn't. You have to wiggle it back in. So I don't know what's going on there. I think this is just gets bound up on the end. So I don't know whether it needs cleaning up. The ball needs cleaning up, or whether it's just worn out. I'll have a look at the teeth. It looks like this could be a bit rough, so maybe I should buy new ones. I just assume that they'd be good, but that's it. The rest of it looks pretty good. It's quietly dripping gearbox oil through the seal here, which is normal, I think. So the longer this takes, the more gearbox oil I'll lose. You know, small victories, I guess. The case came off really well. My application of gasket goo is not too crazy, so that's good. The only casualty is my little plastic metal build-up broke. And I think that's because it's going into this dowel, or maybe it got caught. Oh, it got caught on the kickstart. Oh, it got caught on that pinion. Well, that's poop. How am I going to fix that? I'm probably gonna. Oh, I wonder. I bet there's seals to go on those two holes because of the gearbox level. I bet that's what it is. All right, so I'll fix that. I'll try and build that up a little bit more and then shave it down once I've built it up, if that makes sense. Unless there may not be any real neat reason to do it, but I'm getting to the point of saturation today. I've been at this, don't even know what time it is. It's still daylight out, so it isn't that late. But what am I doing next? I am going to, I'm just going to tidy stuff up, put the bikes away. Got a club ride tomorrow with the New England Triumph Owners Club, and planning on taking that one. So hopefully, I just put a new battery in it this morning. Hopefully it's good and that fires up. And if it doesn't, I'll be screwed, is the polite way of putting it. Well, we'll try and bump start it. I think that's probably what we'll do. Then if I get it going, I'll just ride it home fast. Anyway, that's it. I'm just waffling now, so thanks.